Hello folks, and welcome back to the Keep Productive YouTube channel. Today I am passing over to Yvonne Hyman, who is an expert in ClickUp, and in today's video she's going to give you a getting started guide to ClickUp. She herself is a ClickUp consultant and advises businesses about their strategy, and she is going to be diving into all aspects of ClickUp, including the pricing plans, all the details about the features, specifically going into the different types of views that you can add inside of ClickUp, the project management tool. So I'm very excited to pass over to her and leave you in her capable hands. You can subscribe to her on YouTube and check out her website, and I'll include both of those below. You can also get ClickUp below as well. We have a discount, I believe, that will be included below. So without further ado, I'll pass you over to Yvonne.
Hi everybody, I'm Yvonne Hyman with AskEvie.com, and I help digital entrepreneurs streamline their business to skyrocket your sales by implementing tools, making them talk with each other, and just run everything nice and smooth and efficient. Today, I want to dive with you into one of my most favorite products, ClickUp. ClickUp is a project management system that allows you to run your business, your team, and all of your tasks really efficiently. The only downside of that is the capabilities, which is also the upside, but it's also a downside, which means when you are starting with ClickUp, it is really easy to get overwhelmed and be like, oh my God, what am I even supposed to do? Where am I going? What am I doing? What is this? How am I even supposed to get started with all of this? And that's why Francesco invited me. And this is what I'm exactly going to teach you today, giving you a fast track on getting your ClickUp set up, know exactly what's happening and where you need to go. I'm assuming you already have a ClickUp account set up, so I'm not going to walk through that. There is enough resources online for you to figure that one out. But let's start with choosing. Are you going to go free or are you going to go paid? ClickUp allows you to do a lot of things already in the free account. You do not necessarily have to go paid, especially when you're just starting out, when you're a solopreneur. The free account will do the job for you. As soon as you're growing your team a little bit and you really want to make use of all the features, I recommend go paid. And what I usually recommend my clients, because I have a little secret coupon that just shaves up a little bit of the cost, considering ClickUp already is really cheap considered to a lot of other programs. I always recommend just go with the business plan. You are getting everything. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about use of dashboards or all those kinds of things. But I'm not going to deep dive into everything that's possible. I just want to scratch the surface on this. Again, go free. If you're just starting out, there is no reason for you to pay at this point. As soon as you are ready to really take this serious and upgrade your task management, go into a paid version. And as you can see right here on my screen share, it really makes the difference, because on the free version, you just get 100 uses in the dashboard, which is triggers. Those are gone pretty much like no time. So if you're really planning to use dashboards, go paid. You don't have to worry about any uses of dashboards. It's completely unlimited. And one big thing also is when you are going paid, and you are wanting to do a bigger team with bringing more clients in, the business plan is really great because you're already starting out with 10 guest seats where you can just pull in clients and share access to their task and assign tasks to them without them seeing everything else. They're really just seeing the folder or the list you add your users to. Having said that, the user structure is really similar to a lot of other ones. You can bring in a guest that has capabilities of checking off tasks and doing some things in there, but fairly limited, really just usable for clients. You then have full members, which is your team or contractors that you're bringing in. You can have admins like when you have an operations manager or that sort of thing, and then you are the owner. So really similar to a lot of other programs out there and not too difficult to understand. ClickUp has more information on that too. Let's talk about hierarchy next, because that's one of the big things people often get confused. Let's give you a short visual on that one. Why it gets confusing for a lot of people is because ClickUp has, in my opinion, made a little mistake on their naming convention. They call it a workspace. It's pretty much your account. It's what you are paying for. It's the whole thing. And then underneath you have different spaces, folders, task lists, tasks, subtasks, and checklists. Now that's a whole bunch of stuff. I know. Now you have the visual. Now let me show you what that actually means in ClickUp. In ClickUp, that means this whole thing, everything that's in here, that is your workspace. Pretty much this right down here, the Ask Evie, that's my workspace. That's everything. All of the spaces I throw in there. Now underneath this, all of these colored boxes you see right here, those are spaces. We usually sort them by focus, meaning just like your corporation sort out their business with HR, and then you have sales and marketing, and you have the office, and you have those different areas of business within your business. Now I'm not that big. I don't need all of this HR and sales and marketing and all of those, but I do have my admin space. I do have a marketing space. I do have a regular business space, which is getting cleaned out right now, which is why you are seeing the marketing space. I have my clients, I have client training. That's how I sorted those out because it made the most sense in my setup. Now, on the example of that marketing space, underneath we have folders. Folders is just a collection of spaces. It's like you are trying to combine multiple thoughts and collecting them because they make sense together. In this case, under the space of marketing, I do have a YouTube folder, I do have my blog folder, I have my social media folder, I have my PR folder. Within that, it gets a little bit more nerdier. We have upcoming due and backlog. Why I did that is to be able to do sprints really easy. If we know we are really having a backlog of a lot of tasks, I want to jump really just in that list of backlog and take care of those. And I can do that. I can just put my blinders on, don't care about anything else that's happening around it, and focus on getting that backlog done. But it also allows me to go up into the folder of YouTube and say, okay, there is upcoming tasks, the due tasks are in there, and the backlog. I see the full list of tasks. Now, this specific one gets really nerdy because I decided I wanted to have my task being able to see in different versions. As you can see, the status is to do, these things need to get done. The stages needs to get recorded. Those down here need to be edited. But that's way past getting started. Take a breath. I'm not going to overwhelm you with all of that. Just so you know, this is possible. There is a lot possible here. This is one of the reasons why I love ClickUp, but I digress. In those lists, as you can see, we have tasks right in here, all there. Cool. Within those tasks, you can set up subtasks as well as checklists. There we go. Gotta love when everybody is at home and eating up your internet. Get off of Netflix, people. Going into the task itself, you will be seeing a lot of more features and capabilities specifically to that task. We got the regular task title, we got a description, we got a whole bunch of custom fields, which allows me to do all the things I just showed you in that list view. We then have subtasks right here that are you easily can add right there. which when you click on them, open up one of these just separately, only for the subtask. You can add a specific description for that subtask. You can add attachments to it. You can add checklists. Subtasks only go one level down. You cannot do a task, a subtask, and another subtask underneath. You can only do task, subtask, and then checklist. Though being in that main task, you can add multiple subtasks underneath, as well as checklists, as well as attachments. That is the blessing and the curse, because you really can put a lot of information in here and allow people to drill down on it rather than being overwhelmed with everything. But it also means your team needs to know how to work this and how all of this really feeds into each other. And that is your hierarchy in ClickUp. Now it's time to have some fun. ClickUp, as you might know, has this list view, this what you see right here, which is fully customizable. It usually starts with the assignee, due date, maybe priority, and that's about it. I built this custom specifically to show information I needed. Now, we can take the same information and look at it in a board view. You might be used to Trello. Trello is that board view. I have decided to set up my board view really simple, just with the statuses of to do, meaning we really need to do that. It's in process of, hey, we're working on it. Proof means the team is done with it and I need to check it or somebody else needs to check it. And then complete when the task is done and we can move on. Pretty straightforward, just like any other project management system. The nice thing is you really can customize that. And between those different lists of upcoming due and backlog, as well as what's being worked on, you are suddenly able to look at tasks from multiple point of views and in all of the stages and what you want to focus on. Now, this specific here is an Airtable embed. So you can add multiple views up here rather than just the list view or just the board view. The one you're looking at right now is this embed right here. We'll get to the documents in just a little bit. You can add a chat. Not too happy with the chat feature right now, at least when it comes to general conversation. The chat feature in task, the communication piece in task is really nice as long as your team stays on task and really just talks about task. So I might not drop Slack quite yet, but for task communication, this is great. You can build forms in here. Again, this specific one is the embed feature. And what I did with that is I pulled in an Airtable form which has all of my social media posts ready to go. And I've done it that way because I'm able to download the Airtable form as a CSV and bulk upload that to AgoraPulse when we are ready to schedule all of those. Now, the other embed feature that you also can play around with is embedding tools. And if you are lucky, your scheduling tool will allow you to embed it in ClickUp too. So what I have done is I built that embed view in ClickUp and just grabbed the URL of AgoraPulse to implement it and embed it straight up in ClickUp, if it actually loads. So if you're lucky, your scheduling tool will actually allow you to embed it right in here. You don't have to open up an additional tab. You don't have to go somewhere else. Everything is right here. You can look up your reports. You can look up your scheduling if everything is working fine. Perfect. Now, how do you do that? Going into the view and then the embed, you have two different ways of embedding documents, videos. As you can see, you can embed YouTube videos, any kind of Google documents. You can even embed SoundCloud. or if you have an HTML embed, you can do so too. Really fun. Now, I'm not going to deep dive even more into those views. There is a lot that's possible here, but you don't have to worry about that till you really want to go past the essentials and finding your way around. Once you're comfortable in here, that's your turn to upgrade and deep dive even more into this. The next thing I wanted to show you is documents. I know this looks a whole bunch of overwhelming right now, which is why I'm going to give you a couple pro tips on how to handle documents. And I have a video on my channel on that deep dives even more into documents. Documents you can find right down here by clicking there. This little gizmo will give you access to this view that shows you all of your documents. Now, pro tip, add one document that is, for example, look at that, SOP Ask Evie. I started this as one document. This is all my SOPs for Ask Evie. And yes, I use ClickUp documents for SOPs. I have a video on that one too on my channel that deep dives into that. I called it SOP Ask Evie, and it is connected to my space in Ask Evie. And I'll show you where that pops up when you do that. Underneath that, I start with a main document, social media, and then I add documents indented underneath for those specific topics. Now that allows you, rather than having in this, that was not planned like that, in this all view, rather than having 100,000 documents in here, you only have one SOP Ask Evie, and you have all of the SOPs that relate to that underneath. Now, those documents can be shared publicly as well as with a location. And as you can see, I shared this with location Ask Evie Business. Now, what that means is when we are going over to my regular task view and we go under Ask Evie Business, right up here, you see two documents. And when I click on that, you will see SOP Ask Evie. This is why I approach documents like that. One SOP, all of the sub SOPs underneath, sorting them. Just think of the main document as a folder. And that way you have them all nicely sorted together and not all over the place. And you already got an idea of my SOPs too. As you saw the structure, I use a table of contents on top to easily find specific spots in the SOP when the VA is looking it up and needs to get some information. The general social media one just gives information about the naming convention and social media in general. And underneath those, I deep dive into specific SOPs for YouTube and then Facebook and just how the VA needs to handle things on there. Last but not least, and one of the most annoying things in ClickUp, notifications. When you go down here and you go into notifications, ClickUp comes with pretty much everything turned on. And you will get notifications for everything that is happening in there. It doesn't matter if it pertains to you, if it doesn't pertain to you. If things are happening in here, you're going to get dinged. And those add up fast. You change a task, you assign a task, you set a due date. Every time you get a ping, don't. I pretty much have email notifications muted down, except for there should be a daily summary in the morning. Look at that. I get to fix my notifications. Now I know why I'm not getting these. There we go. Daily due date summary email. That is about the only thing I want to have in my inbox. Once a day in the morning, get an email that tells me this, and this is due. Cool. Awesome. Nothing more needs to be in there. Mobile notifications, I cut them down to, hey, something got assigned to you, some due dates changes maybe, but as you can see, most of those are turned off too. I do, however, have a lot of the web in-app open on because I'm not using the app. There is a desktop app that you can use. I'm not using it, so I'm not getting those notifications. And in the browser, as you can see again, I really cut those notifications down. There is barely anything on. So when you are getting started on ClickUp, make sure you go in there and you turn most of these off, because you are not going to be able to keep track or get anything done, because you're just getting overwhelmed with all kinds of notifications that don't pertain to you, that you don't need. Little pro tip. Everybody runs into that issue. I think this should give you a really nice head start on how to get started with ClickUp. Might not be quite as quick as I had planned it, but I wanted to make sure you really get all the information and you really get everything you need to get started on ClickUp. I love the program, but it is a tool. Nothing is perfect. They have done an amazing job on listening to their users. So if you're running into an issue, don't hesitate. Customer support is really, really, really nice. They might fall short a little bit on real life examples, but there is a ClickUp in real life community, which I happen to be a co-founder of, as well as ClickUp consultants that are working in ClickUp every single day, that have a little bit more real life experience than the development team might have, just because they're not exposed to it. They're using the tool themselves, they're working in the tool themselves, but they are having a limited exposure to all the different ways it can be used and all the different industries it can be used. So if you have made it to this point and you still have not subscribed to Francesco's channel, it's about time. Because if you made it this long, you know you're going to find quality content on this channel. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when he uploads a new video. And if you want to see more of ClickUp videos, you might want to consider subscribing to my Ask Evie channel, but only after you subscribe to Francesco's channel. And I'll see you over there.